Hi everybody, this is James from Apteco. Welcome to the second in our series of webinars looking at the Apteco Orbit product. Thank you for joining, and over the next half an hour I'll host you as we look at how to find and share the stories hidden in your data. Our agenda today is to show you two capabilities of Apteco Orbit. We'll be looking at collections and we'll be looking at dashboards. Just a little introduction for those of you that don't know Apteco. This is some of us outside our office in Warwick in the UK. We're an independent software vendor founded in 1987 in Warwick. We actually started at the University of Warwick Science Park, but we're now based in the centre of town. The picture shows a mixture of people from developers to marketers and all the roles in between, based at our office in Warwick, where we produce the Apteco Marketing Suite, made of three products in the range. Apteco FrostSet is the product we're best known for. That's our analytics product. Apteco PeopleStage is our multi-channel, multi-wave campaign automation tool. And Apteco Orbit is our new browser-based sharing and interaction platform, and we're migrating functionality for the whole Apteco Marketing Suite into the Apteco Orbit platform. We have hundreds of customers worldwide with thousands of users, supported by a partner network that we in turn support from 4 locations around the world. Our headquarters is in Warwick in the UK, but we have distribution businesses in Frankfurt, Germany, Sydney, Australia, and Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and each of those businesses support partners who have specialisms in vertical markets or particular marketing techniques, who in turn support our customers. Our customers spread across business to consumer, business to business, and not-for-profit third sector clients. What brings them to Apteco is the requirement they have to understand a massive customer base and marketplace, and to do that at their fingertips with insight that can drive action. So understanding your customer base, understanding how those customers fit in the marketplace, and using that to drive action through campaigning, essentially ensuring that you are delivering an appropriate customer experience for each of your customers and prospective customers, talking about the products and services that your brand produces. And Apteco's software is there to help you do all of that. And all of these marvellous people in the picture are part of the team that will support you. I'm James Alty. I'm the founder and managing director of the business, and I have over 30 years experience in the sector, driven initially by my interest in data analysis, but subsequently broadening that to include how we engage with customers, how we ensure appropriate communications and great customer experiences. And my role is to ensure we hear from our partners and our customers what's required to keep the Apteco suite at the leading edge of marketing technology, in order that we can service those customers to best effect and help them achieve maximum return on their marketing investments. This is episode 2 of 3. In the first episode, we looked at the audience building tool in Apteco Orbit. In particular, we looked at how we might market cricket tour holidays. We're going to use a fictitious holiday brand for our example today, the same one as we used in episode 1. And in episode 1, we looked at how we can create targeting rules and check the results of those rules to drive campaigning. And that was using the audiences tool within Apteco Orbit. We'll actually touch on the same tool today, because in episode 2 we're going to look at how to find and share the stories hidden in your data. We're going to look first of all at the follow-up to that cricket tour campaign that we planned in episode 1, and we'll see how we might share some insights on that campaign. And then we will move forward to look at a dashboard in order to plan or start to understand our marketplace for tours to the Olympic Games that are going to be held next year in 2020. And so we'll be sharing insight on a dashboard, and that dashboard in turn can create, using visual data selection, target groups as audiences. And so my marketing colleagues in this fictitious brand may be able to interact with the dashboard and self-service the subsets they need for other work to promote the 2020 Olympics tours. So that's what we'll cover today. And in our third episode, we will learn how to monitor and analyze the results from campaigns and use those results in a sharing model. So sharing with my colleagues the results of our campaigning activity. So let's just think about what might be required. And this is my fictitious colleague, Sam. She's our marketing manager at Teal Green Holidays, our holiday brand. And Sam said she wants to share the insights I can gain from my customer analysis with the whole business. She wants the team to understand our goals and actions and successes. That's a quite normal marketing team requirement. Marketing, very much data driven, needs to demonstrate to the whole organization the results that have been gained in a safe environment, so that the management team and the colleagues of Sam in the marketing team can understand. Here's one of my other colleagues who's saying, well, I don't want to work without the insights from my data. I don't want to be blind to the opportunities in the marketplace. She's feeling that she needs more knowledge of what's in our database. And we'll try to answer those two requirements by looking at how to share collections of insight and dashboards for planning and understanding what's in the data. So our challenge today is to try and share some insights, and this is a data storytelling challenge. So how can we take results from the analysis we do of our campaign activity, how can we share those? How can we allow our analytical team to inform the rest of the team about the results that they have found in the data? Secondly, we have a challenge to interact with dashboards or a presentation of data. We want that to be a safe, curated view that's appropriately limited to the data that's necessary, but which allows flexibility and freedom to go and explore further, perhaps to drill into that data or to filter it in different ways. And certainly when you create filtered subsets, we want to be able to action that. So linking the insight into action by creating the target audiences. And this is where we'll build on what we learned in episode 1. So that's our agenda for today. As I mentioned, we're working here with a fictitious customer base of a fictitious holiday company called Teal Green Holidays. And this holiday company offers holidays worldwide. It offers short haul and long haul trips. It offers a variety of different types of accommodation. And in episode 1, we looked at how Sam, our marketing manager, might plan a campaign. So here's Sam, she's the marketer, and we're going to start by looking at some cricket tour analysis, and then we're going to look at planning for the upcoming Olympic Games. Clearly, it's a standout moment for a travel company. Can we promote tours to the Olympic Games in Japan? How are we going to ensure that we're talking to the right types of people? And of course, to support both aspects, the measurement and analysis and also the planning, we want to share those results with internal teams. Actually, we may also share with people at our agency. They might be supporting us with social marketing or content generation, for example. And so the insights from our data may help inform those people as well. And indeed, with the Apteco Orbit solution, you can choose to share externally as well as internally. And much of that sharing can be without requiring a software license. The Orbit platform for read-only access to the resources we create is license-free, no software to download, all delivered in a browser. So your colleagues at the agency can see what you can see if you share with them, and they can access it on whatever device they wish from wherever they're working at any time. Indeed, we allow the shared results to be shared on. So if you share with one person, they can share with other authorized people within the control of a domain. So an email address domain, for example, you can allow them to share with other people. And that hopefully means that we can get the insight to the places that it makes the greatest effect for, in this case, Teal Green Holidays or many other brands. So let's go and have a look and see how we can do some of that. And I'm going to start in FrostSet. So this is our Windows application, and this is the tool an analyst may use. It has lots of powerful capabilities, great interactive visualization, predictive modeling, data transformation tools. And I'm not going to try and cover those in detail in the webinar today, but in episode 1 we know that we created a campaign marketing cricket tours, and those cricket tours were to certain destinations. So let's have a look at what happened. In this case, we marketed to Australia, New Zealand and to South Africa. So I've picked those 3 destinations. And we made the promotion at the beginning of, or latter part of the summer. So let's go and see who has made a booking, and we'll go and pick a booking period. So let's say, actually we'll just do it by date in this case. So we'll pick a date range, and I know that we did that promotional work, for example, on the 1st of August this year. So I can put that date in, that's when the campaign happened, and we'll keep this open-ended, so we'll analyse up to all the bookings that have been received up to today. If we run this again in a week's time, we'll get more bookings that have come in since then. So let's see whether we were successful. A very simple rule. Well, this looks hopeful, doesn't it? We got 16,000 customers who booked holidays as part of our cricket tour since we did the cricket tour promotion. So that's an interesting initial result. I wonder where they went. So let's take our cricket travellers, and again, I'm not trying to make particularly strong analysis results here. I'm just making some examples. So we'll take our cricket travellers and we'll put them onto a chart. In this case, I'm going to look at the destinations they travelled to. That's to do with the booking, and you'll see that when we analyse that, we can see we've got 16,754 bookings from those 16,500 people, and there's an immediately interesting dominant result. They almost all went to Australia. Now, we might have a view as to why that has happened, but that's certainly something that I want to share with Sam, our marketing colleague. So let's just give this a name. We'll call this cricket destinations, and I'm going to add this chart to a storyboard. Now, the storyboard is part of our data storytelling capability. So let's just drag the handle up onto the storyboard tab and drop it into the storyboard. Now you'll see quite clearly I already have some pages in my story, and that's to save time during the webinar, so you don't have to watch me type and analyze each of those things, but I'll visit those items in a minute. Let's just do another very simple action, because I suspect Sam would be interested in seeing some of these customers. So if I choose on the chart the people who have traveled to Australia, and I show you that we have a template up here for seeing some samples of data, let's just drag the chart and drop it onto the name and email template. When I drop it on there, you'll see that it has created, well, 2 things. It actually did it faster than I could speak. First of all, it's created a rule. So it's slightly extended the rule that I had created down here with a requirement that actually we're now only looking at Australia. But it's also put onto there a data grid that shows, in this case, the name and the email address of the individuals. It's actually showing us all of their bookings, so we could look at their destinations, but for Sam's purposes, really, I'm quite happy for this just to be to do with people. And as a result, now you can see the repeated record for Mr. Bryce. We can remove that. We'll just look at the individuals that we have identified. And maybe I would choose to look at them by total spend, for example. So I could go back to my selection and I could say that I want to pick, for example, the top 500. In here, we can say top 500, and we'll do that by some of their characteristics. Let's say we'll do that by their total spend, for example. So if we find down here, lifetime booking spend, so we can look at an example of people who are high spending. Let's put that onto our grid as well, so Sam can see that. So now, FrostSet has found for us 500 people, and we can see, well, here's someone who spent £32,000 with us. Fantastic, nice customer to know. So let's just put a title on here, top spending cricket customers. And again, I'm going to put that into my storyboard. So I've added another page, and the storyboard will extend, eventually covering the full width of the screen and allowing me to scroll left and right. You can have however many pages you wish in there. But let's just go and look at what this storytelling mechanism is about. So if I go to a preview, we can see, first of all, one of the pages that I had created earlier. Let's note that on here we have some annotation. In this case, I'm looking at the brands that we use. So Teal Green Holidays runs a number of different brands. You can see the domains on the left-hand side here. And across the top, we can see, in this case, what type of device has been used for a web visit. So this is analysing the 16,449 customers who've been to Australia, and showing us the number of people and their average time on page for each of the domains that we use to promote the cricket tours. And you can see that I've added some annotation on the right hand side. If I look at another page here, a slightly simpler breakdown. This is looking at the occupation of the people who've travelled. We've surveyed them as a customer satisfaction survey on their flight home, and we can see where they made their booking. So some of the online bookings like Expedia, booking sites, bring us a decent amount of business, and clearly we might do further analysis to look at value. But I've been able to annotate that to explain to Sam what's gone on. Finally, in the pages I pre-prepared, here's a cross-selling analysis looking at our cricket travellers, and I've looked at what options they took on their tour. So did they book the tour of the cricket ground? Did they book the gold package with extra special hotel rooms, etc., or did they book standard accommodation? Sorry, or were there accommodation options taken up? And we can see in this case the average value, so actually average profit, and we can see the percentage breakdown. So for people who just took the tour and neither of the other options, we have 9,000 people, average profit of just over £100, and that's 57% of the people that we are measuring. In the middle here, we've got the lucky people who booked all three options, just 211 of them, but a higher profit as a result from that activity. Let's just complete the story with the pages we just added. So here's our first result for Sam, and we can say clearly Australia dominates our cricket tours, and we think that's due to test match timing. And I can apply the changes onto the page, and we'll see it re-render, and the little note I've added is at the bottom here. And finally, let's just put a quick note on our top spend, and this is sequenced by lifetime spend, for example, and I'll just apply that. The important point is the analyst can annotate, can tell a story. You don't want to watch me type a whole paragraph perhaps, but I've been able to tell that story. I can save that storyboard. Actually, I'd already given it a name, and I can just allow it to overwrite the previous version of that storyboard. And now I can publish that into Orbit. So you can see at the right hand side we have options to send to a PDF or to a Word document, but in this case I'm going to send it to Orbit. And this is our summer 2019 cricket tour campaign analysis. and I'm going to publish that into Orbit. And you can see FrostSet is giving me the option. It says it's ready to share. I can open that in Orbit, which will navigate to a web browser, in my case Google Chrome, and I can log in to here. And I have 3 panels. The left-hand side shows the collections. It's the area we're working in today, and there's my Cricut Tour storyboard just arrived. Right now, actually, I've disconnected from our campaign system, but this is what we'll look at in the 3rd episode. And over on the right-hand side, we can see some audiences, and again, we learnt about audiences in episode 1. So let's go look at our Cricut Tour storyboard. And we can see the pages of analysis that I created. Each of them has the annotation that I've provided. Each of them, in this case, shown in a contracted view. We're getting 3 elements across the page, but I can choose to expand the view and then use scroll bars to see the entire item if I wish, and each of them fitted, as I said, into the dimensions of the display. So in this case 3 across because I'm on a desktop. If I choose to, I can display them 2 across and I get a bit more space, or I can display them 1 across and I can now see the whole thing in one go. And indeed the collection mechanism allows me to run a presentation. We use this at Apteco on the staircase. We have presentations running of what is happening in each of the teams in Apteco. But you can see it gives me a full screen view, which will auto roll through the pages of the collection, in this case by default every 30 seconds, but you can see I can click through them using the tool at the bottom. And it's a great way to share with your colleagues the insight that you have gained. You can apply the annotation in there, and that will be displayed whichever way you are looking at the collection. So that's nice for me. You know, conceivably I might print it. I might print it to a PDF either from here or from FrostSet. But how am I going to allow Sam to see it? Well, I can go click on the sharing option, and I can choose to share this to Sam at tealgreenholidays.co.uk, and I can say for our Cricut campaign. And if I wish to, I can say something to Sam as discussed in our meeting, and I can share that. So now Sam will have access to that. If she's never used Orbit before, she'll be able to self-register with her email address, and she will see this. She won't be able to interact with it. It's safe. She can step through it, she can present it, and she can share it on with other people at Teal Green Holidays. And we can see the sharing history in the left-hand side here. So that's one method of information sharing. Let's see another, and this one is called dashboards. And if I visit the dashboards area, you can see a presentation of data from our holiday bookings, and this includes different styles, so count or value cards, maps, charts, different types of chart, indeed, that are laid out on a page to convey information. Now, this morning I prepared for Sam a new dashboard. Let's just go have a look at it. It's called the Olympic Promotion Dashboard. And this is looking at long-haul travelers, so people who've traveled to long-haul destinations. You can see the continents picked on the filter on the right-hand side, and I've used the last 3 years, 2017, 18 and 19. So that's my base, and I can see I've got something over 200,000 long-haul customers at Teal Green Holidays, average booking value of £670, an average profit of £115. We can see the distribution of where they are in the country, and we support other markets mapping as well. And we can see the domains they're using or the travel dates, for example. And at present, this is presented in our default theme, but there are a variety of different options. You can even put pictures in the backdrop, you can change colors, you can make it brighter, or you can make it darker. And actually, these are just themes we've been experimenting with, but you might convey brand association by color. You might help Sam, or I might help Sam, understand which of the domains we're working on by giving different color presentation, for example. And a dashboard is easy to create and is easy to edit. I might, for example, want to change this tile. Currently looking at our domain distribution, I might want to edit that by choosing the edit button. And on each of the tiles, I can then click on the edit function. And in this case, I'm happy with the descriptions and the type of chart, but I'm going to change it so that it sorts the domain. So the highest value domain, or most frequently used domain, will be at the top. And you can see a variety of other choices for different presentations. So let's just change that, show you that now the preview will demonstrate we have most of our activity for these long haul customers from our Take 3 Guests domain. That's just highlighted that for me. I could change the underlying filter. It's the same mechanism as audiences. I could add a tile. In fact, let's do that just to show how easy it is. So I could add an item. Let's look at the source of each individual, where from, and I'm just going to use a column chart. I'll choose a dimension, and I can just search for source and choose their source. I can decide how to measure them. In this case, let's do it just by counting the number of people in each of those sources. That's the default. And as easy as that, I've got a new tile added to my dashboard. I can resize it to make it a bit more legible, and I can then save that as an updated dashboard. In a moment, we'll share this with Sam. In fact, let's share it now. So if I hit the share button, we can share with Sam at Teal Green Holidays, and you can see that the system is looking for known users. Sam is as yet an unknown user, but I can still share by email address. And this is our Olympic planning dashboard for you. And you can see who it's currently shared with, and again I can just put as discussed for speed, and so I can share that with Sam, and again once she has an Orbit user, she'll be able to interact with that. How does she interact? Well, let's just choose, for example, some of these drive times. So we're going to offer holidays to Japan for the Olympics, and we're going to be flying from East Midlands Airport. So let's pick people who are up to 90 minutes radius from the airport. We've currently got 200,000 people. When I add the filter, you can see it's added on the right hand side. We're now down to 68,000 people. We can see a slightly different spread of value. We can now see a different distribution of where those people are in the country. And we can filter by further items. So let's, for example, filter to pick people who have booked package tours. So now we have a different display here. We've got actually we're picking people who have got package tours. They may also have got other types of booking in their booking history in that 3-year period. Let's filter by directors, managers and professionals. And as we do each of these things, you can see the filter is created on the right hand side, and the total that we're targeting is changing. We can also drill through data. So here we can see something about the booking history. I can drill down from 2020 to look at a monthly breakdown of all the people who have bookings in 2020. Now, they may have got previous bookings and they may have got future bookings, but all these people have got bookings in 2020. If we drill down further, we can see the monthly distribution. So I've drilled from year to quarter to month, showing the total pattern of this group's bookings. So the people in our 15,000 group. Now, we might decide that these are people that are interesting for Sam, and so I might want to create an audience. Having shared the dashboard, let's create an audience for her. So this is Sam, first Olympic audience, and I create that, and I can click on the link to move to the audiences tool. There's our 15,000 people that we just had selected. Here is the rule, exactly in the structure that we learnt about in episode 1, and which I could edit or refine further. Given our time limits, I'm not going to make any changes to it today. I could have excluded by preference scheme, for example, but we can, as we learnt in episode 1, check that using a variety of different layouts to look at data. And here we can see we've correctly got the centre of the country near the East Midlands. We've got the right types of jobs. We've got some details here of our best next destination model. We've got a sample of data. And if we're happy with all of that, we can go and choose to do an export. And let's export, in this case, to Apteco's FTP site. I'll use the name that's there by default. And that's Orbit preparing and now delivering the data to that FTP site. So quick and easy from the dashboard that we had created. Right, let's just finish off. I hope that's given you a valuable view of what we do. So in collections, we analyze, then we collect the pages of our data to do our storytelling. We can review and annotate that and then share it with our colleagues. And in dashboards, we can build a dashboard on which we can interact or drill through. We can select subsets from that dashboard using visual data selection and target those through the audiences model. And of course, dashboards can also be shared. Thank you very much. If you would like more information about the Apteco Marketing Suite, visit apteco.com, follow us on @Apteco on Twitter, or of course feel free to contact us individually. You will be most welcome, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you very much. That is the end of the webinar.